government for having the guts to come out and do something like this. Mackenzie Mayor John O'Neill said it was a bold move which would have the full support of the district's ratepayers. And Waitaki Mayor Alex Hamilton believed it was the right decision and the commissioners would have his strong support. And Mr Speaker, I would suggest to you and to the House that these are the people who know. The members opposite may not understand how rural local authorities work, but the mayors, the 10 mayors, particularly the rural mayors, understand only too well the deficiencies of Environment Canterbury after the past few years. Mr Speaker, I am proud to stand in support of the third reading of the Environment Canterbury Temporary Commissioners and Improved Water Management Bill. Mr Speaker, the debate over the last 24 hours or so has been characterised by arguments from the opposition promoted by Christchurch-based Labour MPs. Now, Mr Speaker, I acknowledge they can't help but promote the Christchurch City view because they do not represent the provinces and have little and limited understanding of the issues that have been faced by rural constituencies in their dealings with Environment Canterbury. Interestingly, though, Mr Speaker, the Christchurch Central member did acknowledge that Labour had failed to act on water management issues while they were in government, and I congratulate him for that. Trevor Mallard, Mr Speaker, while the Minister for the Environment said everyone knew there was a problem here. The City Labour MPs have no idea what has been happening in the provinces in the area of Environment Canterbury. Labour, Mr Speaker, have no courage to deal with this hard issue. Their water plan of action, or should I say their water plan of inaction, went nowhere. So I say to the House that Environment Canterbury's failure is also Labour's failure. Hard for them to face up to, but, Mr Speaker, it is true. All the Canterbury district mayors, themselves democratically elected, have had enough of ECAM, which they characterise as dysfunctional. All 10 mayors and councils were consulted during the course of the development of this bill. I was at meetings represented by 4 of those local authorities, which is nearly the half of those involved, and all of those democratically elected mayors and councils have welcomed the introduction of this bill. The Regional Council has, after 19 years, failed to produce a regional water plan, Mr Speaker, where other regional councils are in their second-generation water plans. Environment Canterbury has been making consent decisions in a policy vacuum, which has resulted in policy making on the hoof, which has been hugely costly in terms of time and expense to the applicants. They have made applications to Environment Canterbury in a policy vacuum. What is needed for the management of an area which has 70% of New Zealand's freshwater is clearly beyond the capabilities of Environment Canterbury. Environment Canterbury has let down its constituents and proved to be a handbrake to both development and protection of natural water resources in Canterbury. Government wants to consider carefully the Canterbury Strategic Water Study, the Land and Water Forum, the work on Environmental Protection Authority, and will take on further advice from the Commissioners. This legislation, Mr Speaker, gives the Canterbury Water Management Strategy recognition and provides Commissioners with a sorely needed and clear framework for managing Canterbury's water. This is a bill that looks to fixing the problems we have now and setting a good policy framework for water management in the future. The explicit intent of this legislation is for the Commissioners to withdraw and be replaced by elected representatives as soon as their task of addressing the institutional and planning problems is achieved. This Environment Canterbury Temporary Commissioners Improved Water Management Bill empowers commissioners to do what is required to turn Environment Canterbury around to the benefit of the people and also the environment of Canterbury. And I commend this bill to the House.